Hello everyone, my name is Tech Weasel. I code my own Roblox games. I'm a 12-year-old kid, and I think I'm a good example that really anyone can really do anything, or at least code Roblox games. Maybe anything is a bit much, because you can't turn into magical griffins and start flying and shooting rainbows out of our mouths. Not anything. So, it's snowing today. You're probably not watching this the exact day of, but I make a daily video, and it's snowing today. So I decided maybe I should make a weather-themed video. Well, I did, and it blew up in my face. I believe there has been some changes to Roblox Studio, so I'll have to check that. I was having some trouble using the, wait command, and it was not waiting as long as I was telling it, so I do not know if it's been switched over to milliseconds, or if there was an error in my code, but sadly, I was impatient and deleted all footage. So, I've decided I'll basically give you the same subject, just I'll make it a bit simpler, and hopefully not get mad at myself and delete the footage again. So the first thing we want to do is make a cylinder. If you didn't look at the cover, this is going to make particles and effects. So basically, we want to have this cylinder like that, stretch it out, make it pretty flat against the ground, but not too flat, anchor it, and we're going to insert something in it. A script. Not a script. That's for later. I'm sorry, like I said, I did a video, and part of me still wants to do that video. Okay, so we're actually going to search for a new thing we've never used on the channel, a particle emitter. Seems pretty obvious for a particle-themed video. Now, while you can make this kind of go in other directions without using this, for this case, we're going to change it. You'll notice it says it's coming out of the top, but we rotated our cylinder, and I really think that the flat side should be the top of cylinders, but it's not. So we're actually going to have to do the left. For you, it might be the right, depending on how you rotated it. And bam! You've already got particles. Easy as that. You can change a bunch in properties. This is one of the biggest uses of properties in anything in this entire game. You can change the lifetime so they last longer. Of course, you can't see it right now because that only talks about the newer ones. So there we go. Here. The ones that were created after I made the change to the properties. Another thing we can do is we can change the color through this menu. Boom, now they're purple. You can even click these dots to make timed colors that change. Look at that. That's awesome. In fact, it kind of looks like fire, so I'm going to change a couple things to make it more fire-like, since I've kind of already done that. Actually, I prefer the magenta, surprisingly. And I'm gonna move my yellow back here, and just at the very end, black. So they turn black as they fade away, which I really like. When they change colors, they fade. It really adds more personality to the particles. Another thing you can do is you can add the transparency, and again, you can actually do the dots and make it so there is different amounts of transparency depending on what time it is for the particles. So again, I'm going to have this right here, and at the very end, right as they disappear, I want them to fade away so it looks a bit more realistic. Bam. That way they don't just vanish into thin air, they actually fade. Although you can't really see the black now, so simple as that. Just move that arrow a bit, and now you can see them start turning darker and fading away. See, just as easily as that, you can make your own particles. Another thing that is important is locked to part. Click that, grab your part, and move it. Okay. Go back into particle emitter, turn off locked to part, and move it. I personally only use lock to part on a couple things like handheld tools, where it's actually useful, so you don't make a huge trail. But other than that, it can be more useful to have cool things like this, especially when you're trying to make a boat trail or something. And there are trails, they're actually a thing. There's also beams, fire, smoke, many things you probably use that are a lot simpler than particle emitter, except beams and trails. Those are really complicated. But I'll show those off in a separate video. I'll probably show them in the same video because they're very similar, surprisingly. Ooh, look, you can even change the size. Isn't that gorgeous? You can change the rate. That means how many will be made, like, per second or whatever. So you'll notice this bottom is way more cramped than the top, because this is the part that existed after the edit. I'm personally not actually going to do that. I'm going to make it so there's not too big a rate. You can make them rotate. You can choose how far you want them to rotate and how fast you want them to do that. I'm just going to set 50-50. And see, we're already getting somewhere. It's looking very pretty. At some point, particles can even become functional, but that's for another video. You can change the speed of how fast they go up. Hyperspeed! Also, because they're going faster, their lifetime is the same, and that actually means they're gonna go higher because their speed is faster, and it's not how far they go up, it's how long their lifetime is. So they're basically gonna go on for infinity. So that's why I have to change that. There we go. See, much calmer. They're still gonna go up pretty high. So again, I have to change the speed down a bit, or the lifetime down a bit. There we go. That's about what we had before. Okay, I'll show you how to add a script, just to make this a bit cooler. You can either put the script in the particle emitter, but personally, I'm going to put it in the part, alongside the particle emitter. I'm going to do while, true, do, basically a forever loop that, it would be inside an if statement, so while that if is true, it does this, but it's not inside an if statement, so it's just going to go on forever. Watch the last video to learn more on that. So, I'm going to write script. Now you can't say, remember, this is a parent. This is the parent of the script. And the child is the thing inside the script. But, then what are these? Siblings? No, you can't write siblings. You actually have to write parent, dot, and then the name, particle emitter. So we basically, from script, find the parent, and then we find all the stuff inside the parent. You could also do script.parent.parent, which is the entire workspace, and then basically just pick anything and edit it. Okay, and then we're going to do enabled equals true, and wait 30. Script dot parent dot particle emitter again dot enabled again equals false. And I know it's not very professional to go back and say, watch this video if you want to know how to expand on it. But you know what I say? Watch this video if you want to expand on this. So many of my past videos had when a player touches damage them, or when a player touches give them a speed boost. So you can do that, and you can make it so when a player touches the parent, remember, you can't touch a script or a particle emitter. Only this has a hitbox, the part. So when they touch the script's parent, maybe particle emitter turns on or off. I'm not going to show you how to code that, but I will show you what the end result of that is at the end of the video. But first, obviously it's not going to turn on and off because scripts are not active in the editor. So, we have to click play. Specifically play here. So basically enable is just going to turn off the thing. And make it so it's not creating particles anymore. So basically it's kind of going to flash on and off. It's not going to look the best, but it's going to be cool. See how there's spacing between them? They're not as fast at a rate as they should be. My guess is that that is either because of the code we added that is making a space between when they're enabled, or that is just because the rate was still loading. Yeah, I would say that is just because it was still loading. Let's see if it turns off at some point. Oh, it's not going to turn off, and I know why. Let me show you. Sorry to make a mistake on video. Believe it or not, I make way more mistakes than this. I just edit a lot of them out. But, truth is, we all make mistakes, you know? Even I am no pro at coding Roblox games. Anyway, I'm going to keep this one in. I'm not going to edit it out because I think you ought to know this. Sometimes people forget this. You have to add another wait, or else script.parent.particleEmitter.false. This is a loop, so what's it going to do next? If there's no wait here, what is actually the next in line? Enable it to true. So it's basically immediately becoming true again. It's not staying off for any time. So now if you play here, it should actually flash on and off. And yes, that does guarantee that it really was. It was just loading, and that's why it was starting so slow. Sometimes it has to do that. I mean, if you followed every video I've made in order, this is going to be a pretty large kind of first little game jumble. I've only had one video where we actually make a separate game than this. Because other than this, this is just kind of a workspace area where we build stuff. Like this lovely spike trap. 2 videos ago. Spike trap, epic. Magnificent. That was not a French accent, was that? What did I just do? Whatever. Yeah, look at it. It's, turned off. How exciting is that? We got it to go off. You can change enabled to transparency, rate, speed, or even color. Although color requires vector 3. For vector 3, please watch the spike trap video in which we used vector 3 to change its position. Yes, that little stabby thing right there is actually the spike. It is actually going into the ground. It's not just disappearing. That is why that little stabby thing can still hurt you. Yeah, ow. Anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you all tomorrow. TechWeasel, signing off. Particles. Man, you don't know how useful these things are. You can even add particles to the handles of tools. Remember, you can't add them to the actual tool. I know, I said signing off, but you can add them so it's not just glowing, it has particles and stuff. And remember, again, I said signing off, but I've got a couple more things to show you without showing you how to make them. Because here are the possibilities of particles. The possibilities of particles. Try saying that 10 times fast. Did I just fail to say 10 times fast? Yeah, I'm not going to try it. I'm bad at that, apparently. No tongue twisters for me. The heal tool is way more sparkly than ever. Literally. It emits little green sparkles. Oh no, how disappointing. My particle emitter broke. It's not turning on. Oh, I walked over it and it turned on. I wonder who coded that. So cool. Anyway, bye everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you later. This is TechWeasel signing off. And, enjoy your particles. Your games are going to look way more epic. Oh, by the way, they don't have to be little sparkles. You can change the image. It's one of the properties. Anyway, bye!